Hello, welcome to World of Microbes. In today's video we will have a brief understanding of computational biology. Computational biology is an interdisciplinary field that applies computer science, statistics, and applied mathematics to analyze large biological datasets and model complex living systems. It drives breakthroughs in genomics, drug discovery, and personalized medicine by turning vast, noisy experimental data into testable hypotheses and predictive models. Rather than working exclusively at a laboratory bench, computational biologists process massive datasets such as DNA sequences or protein structures to uncover the underlying mechanisms of life and disease. Bioinformatics is an interdisciplinary field that combines biology, computer science, mathematics, and statistics to analyze and interpret complex biological data. It involves developing computational tools and algorithms to store, process, and extract meaningful insights from large datasets, such as DNA sequences and protein structures. Core components and uses of bioinformatics include genomics and sequencing, managing and analyzing massive DNA and RNA datasets to understand genetic diseases. Structural bioinformatics, predicting and modeling three-dimensional protein structures to aid in drug discovery and molecular design. Phylogenetics, using sequence alignment to compare genes between different organisms and map evolutionary relationships. Clinical applications, tailoring medical treatments to individual genetic profiles, pharmacogenomics. Bioinformatics and computational biology are interdisciplinary fields that merge biological sciences with computer science, mathematics, and statistics to analyze complex biological datasets and model living systems. While closely related, bioinformatics focuses on managing and mining large datasets, like DNA sequences, whereas computational biology builds theoretical models and simulations to understand biological processes. Both disciplines are at the core of modern biotechnology and healthcare, powering massive advancements. These disciplines lead to highly lucrative and impactful careers in healthcare, biotechnology, and data science. Professionals typically come from backgrounds in biology, computer science, or statistics, utilizing programming languages like Python and R. Now let's discuss some of the subfields of bioinformatics. Computational biology is an interdisciplinary field that uses computer science, applied mathematics, data analysis, and mathematical modeling to understand and simulate complex biological systems. Genetics is the branch of biology that studies heredity and how traits are passed from parents to offspring. It centers on the function, variation, and behavior of genes. Genomics is the study of an organism's complete set of DNA, its genome, including all of its genes and how they interact with each other and the environment. Unlike traditional genetics, which focuses on individual genes, genomics examines the entire genetic instruction set to understand how the whole system functions, grows, and influences health. Proteomics is the large-scale study of the proteome, the entire set of proteins expressed by an organism, tissue, or cell. Because proteins are the primary functional molecules in living systems, this field investigates how proteins interact, their structures, and how they change in response to disease or environmental shifts. Metagenomics is the study of genetic material recovered directly from environmental or clinical samples, bypassing the need to culture individual microbes. It allows scientists to survey entire microbial communities such as bacteria, fungi, and viruses by analyzing the collective DNA within samples like soil, water, or the human gut. Transcriptomics is the large-scale study of the transcriptome, the complete set of RNA molecules, including mRNA and non-coding RNA, produced by an organism's genome. It helps researchers understand when, where, and how much specific genes are turned on or off under different conditions. Phylogenetics is the study of the evolutionary history and ancestral relationships among groups of organisms. By analyzing DNA-RNA sequences, protein structures, and physical traits, scientists reconstruct phylogenetic trees, branching diagrams, to visually map how species share common ancestry. Metabolomics is the comprehensive study of metabolites, small molecules like sugars, amino acids, and lipids within a cell, tissue, or organism. Because metabolites are the direct end products of cellular processes, this field acts as an objective snapshot of an organism's actual physiological state at any given time. Systems biology is an interdisciplinary field that uses computational and mathematical modeling to understand how complex biological systems function. Rather than studying isolated genes or proteins, it takes a holistic approach to decipher how these components interact dynamically within networks to produce the behavior of living organisms. Structural analysis is a branch of solid mechanics that predicts how a structure behaves under external loads and environmental forces. It evaluates physical systems, such as buildings, bridges, and aircraft, to ensure they safely withstand gravity, wind, and seismic activity without failing. Molecular modeling encompasses all theoretical and computational methods used to mimic the behavior of molecules. It is widely applied in computational chemistry, drug design, materials science, and biochemistry to generate, visualize, and manipulate 3D molecular structures without the need for expensive physical experiments. Pathway analysis is a bioinformatics method used to interpret high-throughput biological data, such as gene or protein lists from omics experiments, by mapping molecules to known biochemical networks. It helps researchers identify significantly altered biological mechanisms and disease pathways rather than looking at isolated genes. Bioinformatics is the application of computational tools and mathematics to manage and analyze complex biological data. It is essential for modern genomic sequencing, accelerating drug discovery, advancing precision medicine, improving agricultural crop yields, and enabling environmental bioremediation. Bioinformatics is a rich specialization in which the myriad uses of data are explored, from pharmacology to antibiotics, from green technologies to climate change studies. These, and many more, are included in a running list of bioinformatics applications in the field of microbial genome applications in bioinformatics leverage computational tools to sequence, assemble, and analyze the genetic data of microorganisms. These applications enable precise tracking of disease outbreaks, the discovery of novel antibiotics, the customization of agricultural probiotics, and the engineering of bacteria for environmental cleanup and industrial biotechnology. Bioinformatics is the computational engine of molecular medicine, translating massive datasets into life-saving clinical insights. By leveraging computational tools, machine learning, and multiomics data, it decodes disease mechanisms and accelerates precision treatments. Bioinformatics drives personalized medicine by utilizing computational tools to analyze vast, complex biological datasets, such as genomes and multiomics. This enables healthcare providers to transition from a one-size-fits-all approach to highly tailored prevention, diagnosis, and treatment plans based on a patient's unique genetic profile. Bioinformatics combats antibiotic resistance, AMR, by using computational tools to track, predict, and counter genetic mutations in pathogens. It enables researchers to rapidly identify resistance genes from sequencing data, model protein structures to predict drug efficacy, and utilize machine learning to accelerate the discovery of new antibiotics. Bioinformatics drives preventive medicine by leveraging genomic data, artificial intelligence, and multiomics to assess individual disease risks before symptoms emerge. It enables predictive, personalized healthcare through early screening, targeted gene therapies, and tailored lifestyle interventions rather than reactive, one-size-fits-all treatments. Bioinformatics has fundamentally transformed drug development by replacing slow, expensive wet lab experimentation with data-driven in silico, computational pipelines. By analyzing massive biological datasets, bioinformatics slashes the time and cost required to move a molecule from the lab to pharmacy shelves. Bioinformatics accelerates the development of alternative energy by analyzing genomic and metabolic data. It is primarily used to optimize biofuel and bioethanol yields from biomass, engineer microorganisms for biological hydrogen production, and identify natural proteins for advanced renewable energy storage. Bioinformatics in animal behavioral studies utilizes machine learning, computer vision, and genomics to analyze, track, and decode how animals act and interact with their environments. It translates raw, high-dimensional biological and sensor data into actionable insights for ethology, veterinary medicine, and neuroscience. Machine learning in bioinformatics applies computational algorithms to analyze and interpret massive biological datasets. By bypassing manual programming, ML models, especially deep learning, automate feature extraction to uncover hidden patterns in genomics, proteomics, and drug discovery. Bioinformatics improves nutritional quality by driving computational biofortification and precision breeding. Researchers analyze plant genomes, transcriptomes, and metabolomes to pinpoint genes and metabolic pathways responsible for synthesizing vitamins, essential amino acids, and minerals, enabling the development of nutrient-dense crops to fight malnutrition. Bioinformatics accelerates the development of drought-resistant crops by analyzing massive genomic datasets to identify stress-responsive genes and metabolic markers. Through multiomics, researchers map complex traits like deep root architecture and osmotic adjustment, enabling precise molecular breeding and genetic engineering for improved food security. Insect resistance in bioinformatics involves using computational tools and genomic data to analyze how plants defend against insect pests and how insects develop resistance to insecticides. It drives modern agriculture by accelerating the discovery of natural resistance genes and the design of targeted, eco-friendly pest control strategies. Artificial intelligence is revolutionizing bioinformatics by shifting the field from rule-based pipelines to predictive learning. AI handles massive, high-throughput multiomics and structural data by rapidly scanning sequences, discovering hidden biological patterns, and predicting outcomes, ultimately accelerating drug discovery and personalized medicine. Evolutionary studies in bioinformatics involve using computational algorithms and statistical models to analyze genetic sequences, map biological changes, and reconstruct the evolutionary history, phylogeny, of organisms. It transforms comparative genomics into quantitative science by tracking how DNA, RNA, and proteins mutate over time. Bioinformatics revolutionizes crop improvement by utilizing computational biology and multiomics data to decode plant genomes. It accelerates traditional plant breeding, enabling the precise development of high-yield, climate-resilient, and disease-resistant crop varieties to ensure global food security. Bioinformatics is the computational engine driving gene therapy. It allows researchers to design safe, targeted genetic payloads, model delivery vehicles, and predict off-target mutations before laboratory testing. Bioinformatics in forensics combines biology, computer science, and statistics to process complex genetic data from crime scenes. It enhances the speed, accuracy, and cost efficiency of DNA profiling, allowing investigators to swiftly decode genetic sequences, identify suspects, resolve cold cases, and perform microbial source tracking. Climate change studies in bioinformatics utilize genetic analysis, multiomics data, and predictive modeling to track ecological shifts, develop climate-resilient crops, and engineer microbes capable of carbon sequestration. The intersection of bioinformatics and bioweapon creation represents a dual-use challenge. The same computational tools used for drug discovery and vaccine development can also be misused to design or enhance pathogens. Modern bioinformatics lowers technical barriers by providing public access to genomic data and advanced modeling algorithms. Veterinary science in bioinformatics, often called vetinformatics, is an interdisciplinary field that uses computational tools to analyze complex biological data, such as DNA sequences and omics datasets, to advance animal health, disease research, and livestock management. Computational biology is an interdisciplinary field that applies computer science, statistics, and applied mathematics to analyze large biological datasets and model complex living systems. It drives breakthroughs in genomics, drug discovery, and personalized medicine by turning vast, noisy experimental data into testable hypotheses and predictive models. Core focus areas include genomics and bioinformatics, managing, annotating, and comparing vast genetic sequences and gene expression data, e.g., RNA-seq. Structural biology, predicting how proteins fold, bind, and interact using molecular simulations and deep learning tools. Systems biology, creating mathematical representations of cellular networks to understand how parts of an organism work together as a whole. Computational pharmacology, designing and screening potential new drugs in silico before testing them in a physical laboratory. The relationship between computer science and biology is essential because it allows researchers to manage massive biological datasets, accelerate drug discovery, and model complex living systems. Together, they have spawned fields like bioinformatics and computational biology, turning raw biological data into life-saving medical and scientific breakthroughs. Biological data is expanding exponentially. Without advanced algorithms, machine learning, and high-performance computing, it would be impossible to sequence, align, and analyze DNA or protein structures efficiently. Computer simulations allow scientists to cycle through millions of chemical combinations and see how the body will react to medications. This process saves years of lab work, cuts astronomical development costs, and reduces the need for animal testing. By combining an individual's genetic profile with computational analysis, doctors can tailor highly specific treatments for diseases like cancer. The symbiosis between the two disciplines creates digital biologists who can tackle real-world global challenges. Computational bioengineering integrates engineering, computer science, and biology to solve medical problems. It uses computer simulations, AI, and mathematical models to understand diseases, test therapies, and analyze complex biological data from the molecular level to entire organ systems. Computational biomechanics is an interdisciplinary field that applies engineering computational methods to study the mechanics of biological systems. By utilizing computer simulations, mathematical algorithms, and physical principles, researchers can predict how biological tissues, organs, and the musculoskeletal system react to forces without relying solely on risky or expensive empirical testing. Computational biology and imaging, or computational bioimaging, is an interdisciplinary field that merges computer science, optical engineering, and biomedicine. It uses advanced mathematical modeling and machine learning algorithms to reconstruct, process, and analyze complex biological and medical images. Theoretical biology focuses on developing mathematical principles, logical abstractions, and conceptual models to explain biological systems. Computational biology puts these theories into practice by using computer science, algorithms, and data analysis to simulate living processes, validate models, and solve complex biological problems. A wet lab is a hands-on environment where physical experiments are conducted using liquids, chemicals, and biological specimens, e.g., pipetting, growing bacteria. In contrast, a dry lab is a computational or theoretical environment where scientists analyze data, create mathematical models, and run computer simulations rather than handling physical materials. Wet lab focuses on physical discovery and validation. Materials include chemicals, reagents, live specimens, and biological tissues. Involves significant safety hazards. It demands strict biosafety compliance, the use of personal protective equipment, PPE, like lab coats and gloves, and rigorous waste disposal protocols. Whereas dry lab focuses on applied mathematics, physics, and data analysis. Materials consist of datasets, computer algorithms, and virtual models. Carries fewer direct physical hazards. Safety measures are mostly restricted to ergonomic workstation design and electrostatic discharge, ESD, management to protect sensitive electronics.